What up, everybody? It's Frank Muller back at it again with another video today. You're watching Level Up, Double Down, where we don't play around unless it's video games. With that out the way, let's go ahead and get things started. On today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different compared to what you're used to seeing me cover on this channel. So I figured while it's the aftermath of the announcement of the Valve Steam Machine alongside a Steam controller and a Steam frame, it would make sense to take you guys back in time. What I have in front of me are a couple of relics from the past. If you haven't been aware before, Valve made a failed attempt at releasing Steam machines back in 2014, and I remember it like it was yesterday. In my honest opinion, I think what caused Valve to fail at their earlier Steam machine efforts was their reliance and dependency on OEM manufacturers to get things right and to build Steam machines to spec, and there was no uniformity, similar to the Android mobile ecosystem, meaning that all these different companies throwing their hat in the ring to build their own Halo gaming product running Valve Steam OS. Most of those PCs at the time, they were half-ass measures or rebrands of manufacturers' current product stack that they already had in stock. And the nail in the coffin was their price. And I'm looking dead at you, Alienware, because you were the repeat recidivist offender. This reminds me of that saying, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself, and that speaks volumes. Actually, if I remember correctly, at that time, those Steam machines came out, I had recently built myself another gaming PC, which had an Intel i7-4770K. It had a GTX 680 from NVIDIA, which I still own to this day, an EVGA Z87 or Z87 motherboard, 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM, 2 sticks, and a 1000 watt power supply, and TCL SATA SSD, which were still a thing during that time. Basically, I said all that to say this. I didn't need a Steam machine because the computer I was using was very capable of running whatever games Valve was trying to advertise a Steam machine for. Not to go on a different tangent here, but I'm just throwing in some context. So as part of Valve's push to promoting the earlier iterations of the Steam machines, from what I remember, I would say they were in their experimental stages when it came to testing out the hardware, innovating on new ideas, and making new products, which is something I will give Valve credit for, since they were pushing the PC genre forward, unlike Microsoft. Man, Microsoft had literally abandoned the PC community. They stopped releasing first-party games on PC after Gears of War. Their games for Windows Live Initiative was a failure even after they made all these unfulfilled promises, wishy-washy statements, which was all wishful thinking, no pun intended. And this is not the first time this has ever happened. I know this video is about Valve, not Microsoft, so let me not get ahead of myself, you know what I'm saying? All right. After making all that money creating software, Valve was on a trajectory to expand, which meant creating physical, tangible products that consumers could use that would tie them to Valve's ecosystem. So one of those ideas Valve came up with was with game streaming. But this was before you had the Xbox cloud gaming. But I do want to say that this was around the same time or after when Sony came with their own cloud gaming option through Gaikai, which they purchased the company in 2012, which specialized in cloud streaming. Now, what was ingenious about Valve's idea though, was they had released a product which could be compared to Apple's AirDrop, or better yet, Google's Chromecast, which was a popular item at that time. Valve's product allowed the user to connect to their TV via HDMI, and during the product setup, by way of Wi-Fi, it would then detect any computer on the same wireless network running Steam. And basically, you could just select any game from your Steam library and stream that signal from that computer to Valve's product in order to play the game on your TV. And that product is called the Steam Link. Now, The next product I'm going to speak on doesn't really need much of an introduction, but just to give you a little backstory. Around the time of its release, Valve started diving into couch co-op PC gaming while trying to reinvent the wheel by creating their own modern-day take on game console controllers. They tried to include aspects that they thought PC games would appreciate and consider beneficial, which were absent from controllers of other consoles at that time. Although the controller did come out of left field due to its unique and unorthodox design, I understood what Valve was going for. But the design really didn't win many people over, since the traditional controller design had already been established way before Valve came into the picture, and Valve's approach really wasn't all that intuitive, to say the least. And that product or that controller was a Steam controller, the first generation. So which one of these should I start with? The Steam controller or the Steam Link? You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna go with the Steam Link. All right, so let me give you guys a little background on this particular Steam Link. So on May 24, 2019, I put down a winning bid out of 4 other people on eBay in order to buy this Steam Link open box from eBay for around $40.70 USD, based on the exchange rate since the original seller was from Canada. Although I would have preferred to buy this brand new, I had to resort to buying it secondhand because a year prior, when Valve was liquidating their unsold stock of Steam Links, I believe I didn't have enough residual income just to buy one at the time. In other words, I think I was probably unemployed, to be honest. Valve has since reduced the Steam Link to just a mobile app that's compatible on both Android and iOS. Even though I used the app a couple of times, I prefer that my gameplay be live and direct from the original PC it's being sourced from, rather than having to stream it over the internet. Not trying to diss anybody who prefers to use cloud gaming or any similar service to play their games. I just feel that whatever option you have to your disposal that's affordable and within your budget is a perfect choice, so you should go with that to play your games. Now, let me go ahead and start off by unboxing this Steam Link so you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're working with right here. All right, so as you can see, we got right here the Steam Link, and just take a look to the side. You got your USB port right here. I'm presuming this was USB 3.0. Got 2 more USB ports. Then you have your Ethernet and you have your HDMI. Oh, and not to forget, you do have your power adapter port right over here as well. Let me just go ahead and take a few more things out the box. All right, so you got your quick start guide. A lot of stuff people don't even care to read. No offense. And let's go. Yeah, it does help to hold it with 2 fingers. All right, so as you can see, Valve was looking out for everybody around the world because they got everything, every single different USB adapter, and these are interchangeable too, which is crazy. Every USB adapter, so that way you don't have to worry if whether or not you can be able to plug it in. All right, you got the HDMI cable right over here, the USB adapter right there, and you also have the Ethernet cable right over here. All right, I'm just going ahead and put this back because I'm not going to use it. Now, I could create another video that demonstrates how the Steam Link functions. So if there's enough demand on YouTube in the comment section, I might make that happen. So like I said, stick around, stay subscribed to the channel, and you might see that one of these days in the near future. Let me go ahead and put all this stuff up. Now switching gears here, in contrast, on November 27th, 2019, that's when I bought my Steam controller. It came directly from Valve since the controller was being discontinued just like the Steam Link, but this time You could tell Valve was basically outright trying to get rid of all of them because they were putting them on sale for $5 each. And as a PC gamer, you could not go wrong with that. Now, talking about a big loss and an even bigger tax write-off on Valve's part, this was at the time when Valve started focusing more of their attention on VR after they had announced and revealed that they were releasing the Steam Index, which was their first VR headset. Now, from what I remember, I know they did a collaboration with HTC, which led to the HTC Vive, if I'm not mistaken, before creating their own headset. Looking back at it though, if I remember correctly, I bought the controller with the idea that it would eventually become a rare token item that could become valuable someday, which makes me wish that I had bought 2 of them instead. Now, the main thing that bothered me about buying this controller was that the shipping accounted for the majority of the cost related to the purchase of that controller. However, I can't complain since you're not getting a game controller for less than $20 these days, unless it's being shipped from China. And I have a few of those Embernic and GameSir controllers to show for it, and I'll eventually get around to doing a review on both of them. I'm just taking things one day at a time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start unboxing the Steam controller. And I do want you guys to understand this is a very, very, very momentous occasion because, look, I have never, ever unpeeled the seal until today. So just like me, you guys are also will be experiencing the first time I'm unboxing it with you. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we're going ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and peel it. Try to be very careful. I don't wanna rip this up because like I said earlier, this could be a very, very valuable item in years to come. And so I'm trying to preserve the original quality and condition if possible. All right, so there we go, right there. Now this is the ultimate moment of truth because I really don't want this to get too damaged. So, and this is actually from, like I said, 2019. So I don't know how fastened this adhesive is on the actual box, but it doesn't look like it's giving me too much trouble, and it looks like it's coming off pretty well. Okay, look at that, okay. Oh wee! All right, so the moment of truth. Oh, the first time it's seen the light of day since I bought it. I actually never opened this package, just to let you guys know. So you guys are looking at this the same time I am. And look at the Steam controller in all its glory. Yeah, it kind of looks retarded. Look at the triggers and the shoulder button. Like, dude, it barely, oh, this is digital. Yeah, these are digital. I don't like that. I don't like the digital bumpers. Well, the triggers though, they appear to be analog. It's pretty much a decent long press that goes down. Got the back paddles kind of retarded because Valve try to be like these like fancy ass artists from the 1900s, like Van Gogh and Picasso and all them. Come on, man. Like, y'all could have easily just had your traditional back paddles and been all right. But and then the gloss though, yeah, the gloss is it's off-putting because you're gonna get a lot of smudges. And oh my God, this monstrosity of a D-pad. Oh wait. Nowadays, thumbsticks do have like a little hollow area at the top, so that way you can groove your thumb in. Pause. Yeah, I just don't know what the hell this is, man. I don't know what the heck this is, and I'm presuming it's a trackpad, because they use this in place of having a second joystick, which I don't think this was very wise, but hey, to each his own. And oh, you can tell this is from like the early 2010s, because only controllers from early 2010s use that micro USB, and I always hated micro USB because if you keep putting in the cable in and out, what tends to happen is it'll wear this port down, and then the cable will be fidgety over time. So that's one thing that I hated about micro USB. All right, so you got the adapter right here. Then you have the battery. Oh, wow. I told you guys I didn't touch this thing in like 7 years since I bought it. Dude, the batteries are dead. I was just about to look at the batteries. Let me see what the expiration date looks like. I'm just glad that they had a wrapper covering the batteries, so that way whenever it corroded, it wouldn't have messed up within the packaging. So that's good to see, you know. Now I'm looking really carefully here. I swear I must be blind as a bat because I cannot see the expiration date. Man, it's not that important, so forget it. I'll let you guys know if I do find the expiration date to this though. But I'm actually gonna throw these batteries away. Ugh, gross, man. I think I had got some of that residue that came from the battery, but I am glad that I did open the package 7 years too late, I guess, because who's to say that the condition could have gotten worse, and what if it got loose out of the package, the batteries, and then it could have ruined the packaging, because I wanted to, you know, keep this pristine and in good condition. Now, as I take out some of the other stuff, you'll see that you have the start guide, then you got the manual, which nobody cares about. And what the hell is this shit right here? Okay. Oh, it's like a little charge dock or whatever. If you look right here, you have the cable, the USB, micro USB cable. So nothing really special. Now, what I do want to do, I do want to compare how the Steam controller fares against other controllers. Let me go ahead and move this out the way. All right, so we got the DualShock 4. And if you notice, if you put them side by side, volume-wise, the Steam controller has more volume, but they're around the same size. However, the Steam controller is very hollow. It actually doesn't weigh that much if you feel it. Like I'm going between both hands, and the Steam controller is awfully light compared to the DualShock 4. But I'm presuming it's because they have strong motors in a bigger battery pack. So that's what I'm guessing the reason why the DualShock 4 is a whole lot more heavier. All right, let me go ahead and get another controller. Now we got the Old Faithful. This is my Old Faithful. My Xbox One controller. I've had this since, I want to say 2018. Man, I played a lot of games with this one. I played a lot of games with my DualShock 4 controller too, but not as much as this one. And this controller has been all around the world with me. I've taken it to Europe, to Africa, to Texas, to Cali, Colorado. So this one is very sentimental to me, but let me not get all wrapped up and get off topic. But if you put them side by side, you'll notice that the Steam controllers are around the same size. They actually got the same type of shape. It's just that the Steam controller is more hollowed out, and this one is just more concave, the Xbox One. And let me just bring in the Xbox Series controller, just for a different perspective here. So, I mean, these are practically the same. The only difference is the D-pad on an Xbox Series controller compared to the Xbox One. But for the most part, these controllers are identically the same. Oh, and the share button too. I mean, the issue with the Steam controller, like I said earlier, they try to go too left field. They try to like do too much at one time. Like they try to like be experimental, and I appreciate that with Valve. It's just that gamers, man, they ain't trying to do nothing new. So Valve should have kept it 100 and just, you know, towed the line. But I will say I do like what Valve is doing with the current Steam controller. I'm not a fan of the trackpads, the placement that is. Like I do appreciate the trackpads, just not the placement. However, my DualShock 4, which is right here, I do like that it had a trackpad, and you know, there's times where certain games required that you use a mouse and it would disable the buttons on the controller. So you could use a trackpad as your makeshift mouse, for the lack of a better word, and it worked out fine. But I think that when it comes to the Steam controller, the trackpads are really gonna make a huge difference when it comes to playing games that are specifically targeting PC that require mouse and keyboard, and that you could use the trackpads on the Steam controller, the new generation, to be able to get around that. All right, so I think that's gonna be enough of show and tell today. So as I wrap up this video, feel free to let me know in the comments, what were your thoughts about the presentation I gave? If you're interested in this type of content related to PC gaming, hit the subscribe button down below and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss a thing. And also, if you made it this far, I want to sincerely thank you for watching. So, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Frank Mula, signing out. Holla at me.